Hi, I'm Jen, and I do stuff. Wow, the feedback from my videos last week about moving to Canada has been a lot. And first, I just want to thank all of the people that have been so kind to me, that have said that you are looking forward to watching my journey as my family immigrates to Vancouver Island. I really appreciate it, because that has been the vast majority of comments. There have been some beautiful comments from people who are looking to help, who have great ideas, who are really just so incredibly helpful. And that's one thing we loved about when we visited Vancouver Island to decide whether we thought that that might be a good home for us, is that people were just so incredibly helpful and so sweet about the idea of us moving there and making our home there. That being said, there has been some pushback, mostly on my other channel, because it does have a wider reach. I have a makeup news channel called Jen Love, and that channel has 375,000 followers over there. So that video has over 100,000 views. And in that, there has been quite a bit of pushback on just being a US citizen wanting to go to Canada. It's been a lot. I have to say some of it has really hit home, because you know how, like, as people, we tend to focus on the negative more than the positive. And I take the thoughts of those people very seriously, because the last thing that we want to do going to Canada is to disrespect Canadians. We understand that the visa process is a privilege, not a right. We understand that it is important to understand we are going into an existing culture with a different culture, and that we are going to have to learn the ways of people in Canada. What words are different, what customs are different. We really respect that. And we are excited to learn about that. We are happy to learn about that. There are quite a few people over, mostly on the other channel, talking about how there are a lot of stereotypes about US citizens coming to Canada, that we're rude, we're pushy, that we expect other people to move around us. And I'm sure there are US citizens that are like that. That is not us. We are not those people. Perceived US ideologies that people assume that all people in the US have, which it's a little disheartening, because I respect that not all Canadians believe the same thing. It's not possible. Not all US citizens believe the same things. And I want to make sure that anybody watching this video knows that we come with the utmost of respect. Another thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I am actually 1/4 Canadian. I didn't mention it before because I do think that it's not as important as some other things. My grandmother was from a little town called Kapuskasing in Ontario. Her maiden name was Paradis. She also has Cousineau, I think is how you pronounce it. It was her mother Adelaide Cousineau, but her father was Paradis. So I have heard that if you do have Paradis in your lineage, that we are all related. So hello, distant cousin. But I don't think that that is the most important thing about me or our journey, because I was born here. I grew up with a Canadian grandmother who had an incredible love for Canada. Thinking, oh my gosh. Woo. I didn't expect that. You know, sometimes I get emotional and I don't know why. It just kind of hits me like that. My grandmother was a great lady. She spoke French a lot when we were kids, and she's just a great lady. And I think she'd be really proud. Gosh, what the heck? Whew, I think she'd be really proud that we want to move to Canada. I think she'd be really happy. That just hit me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did not. Okay, I think I'm getting myself together. So anyway, I just love my grandma. She passed away when I was like 21, 22. I'm 47 now, so she's been gone a long time. But I just think she'd be really proud that we want to move there. Speaking of that, I wanted to give you an update on what's happened since the last video as far as our immigration. We are not guaranteed to move there. We are still on that journey, and I think that's important to recognize that we do not have visas yet. We have not been accepted for our visas. Our immigration professional we talked to didn't seem to think that there was going to be any problem getting visas as long as my husband got into college, and he did. He's going to be going to Camosun College, and he got his acceptance letter, and he paid his deposit for his tuition. So the next step was to make sure all of the passports were updated. Mine is good for a long time, but my husband and my kids, I have 2 kids, ages 17 and 14, their passports needed to be updated. So we took care of that. And now the next step is actually to apply for the visas. And that is going to take a little while, but that is going to be the big one. That is the big step. And I may come on here realistically, like I'm just being 100% with you. I may come on here and then say our visas were rejected and we're not coming, and that's the end. That is a very real possibility. I'm hoping that they accept my husband's student visa, that they want us to come. My oldest is non-binary, so you'll hear me use they, them pronouns quite a bit. I know there's some people that are going to be mean about that, but if you could just not hate on my kid. They're an amazing human being, but their visa is going to be different because they're applying to University of Victoria. So they're on a separate path than the 3 of us are, my husband and my son. So I'm hoping that everything goes well with that. Now with Phoenix, who's my non-binary 17-year-old who will be starting hopefully at UVic in the fall, they are looking to get a medical degree. They are looking to go that whole route. Phoenix is absolutely brilliant. And I say that with a lot of bias, but also my child has always been an extremely fast learner, and I know that they will succeed wherever they go to college, but they really want to go to UVic. We went and visited the campus and they loved it. They absolutely fell in love. We do have backup plan for them to go to University of Maryland, but they really don't want to go to University of Maryland. They really want to go to UVic. So I will keep you posted on all of that. It's probably going to be a couple of months before we know for sure. Till then, I'm just going to give you other updates and kind of just share a little bit about where we're at. But I will tell you, I have a lot of anxiety about our visas not being accepted, which I think is valid and is definitely possible and could happen. I'm trying to think anything else that I want to tell you. I can't believe I just freaking broke down about my grandma, but it is it is what it is. I want this to be more of a vlog. I thought about like kind of coming on and making this more educational because that's what my specialty is. I'm actually a trained special education teacher. I have a master's degree in elementary reading and literacy. I left teaching in order to do YouTube full time. So that is also another career that I could try to get a job in Canada as a teacher. I would rather not because I love my job on YouTube. And if I got a job as a teacher, I would have to quit that. Also, my job on YouTube pays way better than teachers, which is really freaking unfortunate because teachers really should be paid more than what I make. But that is another option as well that I could take as far as trying to get a job in Canada on a work visa. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place in this video, so hopefully it's making linear sense where I'm going with all of this. One thing I want to address about my son is that someone actually was under the impression that I said my son was special needs, that he needed like extra support in school, which I can kind of see where someone might have thought that, but no, he doesn't need any kind of special accommodations. He does have ADHD, so he occasionally will need some extra time, a little bit of refocusing, but overall he doesn't need any extra support or any extra health care at all. He's not even on medication for his ADHD. But one thing you do need to know about my 14-year-old son is that he has actually already owned a business. My son was having a tough time with being bullied in middle school. So we actually pulled him out for a year and a half to homeschool him. And it was incredible for him. He had some holes in his education because of his ADHD. There were things that he just didn't learn. And as a trained teacher, I was able to take him on kind of under my wing and teach him some of the things that he hadn't learned through the public school system. And he went back to school for 8th grade or grade 8, as you say in Canada, and he thrived. He absolutely thrived. But during that period of time, my husband and my son actually started a business because my son is extremely business minded. When he was 4, he was picking up rocks off the ground and saying, "How much do you think I could sell this for?" It's like in his blood to start a business. So I imagine that when he graduates, he may go to college, he may just start a business just right from there. He may work for a Canadian company, but he has so many business skills already that I feel like he is going to be such an asset to any business that hires him, or if he's able to start his own business, I think it's going to be amazing, and he'll be able to hire Canadians as part of that. Really and truly, the weakest link in all of this is me just having a job on YouTube. But I'm hoping that at least through this channel, that I'll be able to at least give information about immigrating to Canada, which in a way might help people both in the US and Canada. But I do feel like that's kind of a stretch. But I get and I understand that digital nomads are not needed in Canada. And I'm hoping that the Canadian government allows me to come as a visitor as my husband is in school to get his business degree to contribute to Canada. We will see. We'll see what happens. And thank you for being here for this journey. I appreciate you. It means a lot to us to be able to have this opportunity to possibly immigrate, and it could go either way. So thanks for following along. And I want to send you so much love, whether you are in the US, whether you're in Canada or around the world. I wish you peace, happiness, and safety. And I will see you in a video, hopefully soon, with another update. Talk to you soon. Bye.